Hi, welcome to Derek Does. Today, we're going to talk about this. Hi, welcome back to Derek Does. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're going to do the safety razor. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I have a lot of just guy vintage stuff from everything, and I thought, why not shaving? Because that's something that there's probably not a lot out there. But it's definitely a thing that guys do, obviously. And if you want to be more kind of vintage than modern and you want to save some money, you're going to want a safety razor, especially a double-sided safety razor. I'm going to show you what I have, kind of my story of how I got to this, and pros and cons of it. So the safety razor, this is a Gillette. Gillette's probably one of the biggest names in razors in the world and has been since the 1900s. They kind of came up, I believe, with the safety razor, or at least they pushed it to be theirs. I think that the safety razor was invented in the late 1800s because before that you had the straight razor. Now you've probably seen a straight razor. If you've been there to a barber, a good barber, they'll actually use a straight razor, you know, on the neck and around the areas. When I first got into wanting to save money on razors, but I also wanted something vintage because I'm a vintage guy. So I got myself a straight razor. You can find them. They're easy to find because they made millions of them. Every guy in the world had one up till probably the 1920s or 30s or 40s. So you can find them on eBay. And keep in mind that a straight razor, for the most part, especially if it's made in England or made in Germany or Austria or one of those places like that, the steel is amazing in it because they use the best steel for a straight razor because it had to be super, super sharp, super durable, all that stuff. So don't worry about buying, don't buy one made in China or somewhere that obviously is cheap and is not like probably the better. You can buy the best because it's 80 years old or 100 years old. So if you pick one up, I tried it. I was just bloody. Every stroke I did, there'd be a line. It wasn't for me. I'm not a straight razor guy. It's just the whole process. It's a huge process to shave with the straight razor. And so if you have the time and you have the patience and you have the pain level, go for it. I don't. So I had originally, I think one of my first razors was a Gillette sensor razor. I know maybe some of you guys use that one. And it was fine. You could buy like the razor and a couple of the razors, that the cartridges that fit on it. And it was like, I don't know, like $8-10. But then you had, when you ran out of your razor cartridges, you had to buy more razor cartridges. And those started to add up. And pretty soon they were like $20, $30, $40 for these cartridges. So I went out looking, and for years people used the straight razor. Or I'm sorry, the safety razor. Both begin with S. This is a double-sided safety razor. There's also a single-sided safety razor. I'm just going to talk about the double-sided safety razor because that's, in my worldview, is the best to get because you have two razor blades on either side. Now they call it a safety razor because the blade itself is enclosed, or it's protected by this piece of metal. This particular safety razor is kind of a special one, and if you're going to get one, try to find one of these. They're called a Fat Boy, is kind of the enduring term for them. Gillette only made them for a few years in this fat configuration. I think from like the late 50s to the early 60s. That's what this one is. I bought this one on eBay, I don't know, 15, almost 20 years ago. But it still came in the package. I was looking for it earlier today. I think it's in a box somewhere. It's like a plastic case, and it still had a box of the Gillette blue blades or something like that. That's like what they had. They actually blued the blades. That's a term that is a chemical reaction, kind of like in a gun, it's blued, except in a razor blade it's actually blue, not just dark. This one's called the Fat Boy, and it's special because it has adjustable, you can adjust it. So basically what that does is there's a there's a piece of metal in here, and I'll loosen a little bit. As you turn it, it actually moves, it forces the blade to go. So the blade's flat, and as you force it, it forces up and forces down. So what it does, if you have a heavy beard, you'll go with a certain number. If you go with a light beard, you go with a different type of number. Whatever works for you. I've been using around 4. The thing is, once you get it and you set it, you don't set it again really, because like your beard doesn't change per week. So it's a nice feature. You set it and you're good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the Gillette. Try to pick up one of these. I think later they made them thinner, still adjustable, but not this fat. That has a nice weight to it. It's just, you want a razor blade that it's not heavy, but it's not like a disposable thing, because those are just all over the place. And I'm going to show you why you should get one, and how you're going to save money with it too. Especially if now I don't shave a lot. I mean, I shave my neck and here. I don't do the beard just because it's such a pain to do, to shave. I don't like shaving, but I also don't like a giant beard because it gets in the way. So I'm gonna, let's do some close-ups, and I'm gonna show you the Gillette Fat Boy, and I'm gonna show you the blades that I use on it, how to change a blade, how easy it is, and kind of what you can save money-wise by purchasing one of these. Now, one of these on eBay, I just looked recently, and they're in the 70 range, so they're a lot more than I think I paid 30 for it. But I'm sure if you're a diligent eBay viewer, you can find one maybe in the 30-40 range shipped. I don't know, take a look. And when you get them, they're all stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about it rusting or anything like that. And if you get in, you're like, oh, I don't like a used something. When I first got it, it was used, and I put it in a thing of boiling water. You know, I let it boil for 5-10 minutes, and I'm pretty sure anything that was on it's dead. So that's something you can do. So if you get it, put it in there, then you basically have a brand new razor. Let's take a look at it. So what I do is I have a system like this. It's kind of like a tree to hold your razor and your brush. I'll get into the brush a little bit too. I recently just shaved, actually. I picked this up actually at a thrift store. They're expensive actually to buy, and this was like a couple bucks, and I thought, oh, that should fit, and you know what, it does. So if you want to spend the money, they're probably, I don't know, 20-30 bucks, or you can just find one at a thrift store or something like that. So here is the Gillette. Just give you an idea of what it looks like. It's not very big, as you can see. There's the adjustables right there, and that spins as I showed you earlier. On the bottom it has this, which you can actually take this whole thing apart. You put it in there, like a spanner there, and you undo it and it unwinds. And if you're a handy guy and you want to restore it, you can totally take it all apart to fix it. But really nothing really breaks on these things. They're really durable. You can see it's got kind of this gnarled handle, so it doesn't move on you. It holds it, and you have two blades. You have a blade there and a blade there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to open this up, how to change a blade, the blades that I'm currently using, and kind of costs and that sort of thing. One other thing I would highly recommend is you find yourself a nice Badger bristle butt brush, shaving brush. This one's still wet, so it's not all fluffy like it should be. This is an old one. I got it NOS, made in Italy, Omega. It's a silver tipped Badger is what you want, and it comes in a nice little thing, and it's really great. Highly recommend. If you're going to use this, get a brush and some shaving cream. Now, as to shaving cream, I use this. I like Mitchell's Wool Fat Shaving Soap. It comes, I found my package. It could come just in the cartridge of soap, and basically it's just a little round bar of soap. This is I really like this. It's kind of natural. It just goes with the whole vintage. It has a nice smell to it. It's nothing overpowering. Don't use shaving soap in a can. I don't know, just something about in a can just doesn't work for me. If you're going to do this, actually get this. And then if you want to, eventually I bought the ceramic holder for it, and your shaving soap is in there. And you just take your brush, you wet it, You get it all frothy with soap and you put it on your face and you're good to go. And then you just rinse it off and there's no waste. The soap itself lasts, at least a year. I mean, it's a long time. Depending, I guess, if you shave many times a day, it won't, but for most people, it will last quite a bit. But let me get into the razor. I'll put it on a tripod so I can use both hands to show you. So here's the razor, and the way you open it is there's two handles. There's a handle here, and there's a handle down here. You turn this handle, and as you turn it, you can actually see. So as you see, that's closed. That's open. And inside is your blade. Be careful when you handle these. As you use these blades over time, you'll get much easier, you won't even think about it and you won't cut yourself, but you just want to grab the ends and it lifts right up. And the blades, this is a feather blade. That's what I've been using. These are made in Japan. And after a lot of searching and trying to do some reviews and everything, there's razor blades. They're kind of the gamuts all over the place, but these are the feather ones made in Japan, and they come in a little package like this, and they actually come in a box that looks like that. I bought 100 of these. These are 20 packets of 5 stainless steel from platinum coated blades from Feather, and when I bought these, they were $26. For 100 of them. So that's a pretty good price. I just got on Amazon and I checked these and now they're $49. So they've gone up quite a bit. I don't know if it's just the Japanese steel market's gone up, but there's other blades you can choose. So when you're going to change your blade or you get your brand new, so basically you would pull up your blade and in the little package that comes with it, this is one of the little 5 packs for the Feather. If you notice, there's a little slit in this plastic container, and it's made specifically to put your old razor blades in there. And they just pop right in there, and now they're safe and they're not going to cut anybody. So to get a new blade, it's the last one, so you use your thumb and they just slide out, and they're in these little wax paper container. You can't get cut doing this. I wouldn't squeeze it, but you're fine. There's a little handle that kind of lifts up, and you just lift it, you turn it, you lift it. Just be gentle and ginger, and then it just slides in, and then you close it up. And now you got yourself a brand new razor, and these are good for like a week, really, depending how much you shave. They're really good. You can, if you only shave once a week, you can go a couple weeks with these things, but you get many shaves out of that little blade. So I'm already set at 4. I close it. I'm good to go. And then I can just put it on my tree, and then it just stays there till I need it again. So then you can just throw this away, and all your old blades are stuck in here, and it's safe. And then when it's time to get a new blade, which I'm literally almost out. Oh my gosh, that's my last one. I'm going to be shopping myself. So this is the Feather. My last 5-pack of blades looks like this. Comes a little cellophane. That's the Feather on Amazon. That's where I found it as the best price, but I don't know about the $50 now for a box of them. But it is 100 of them. So if you think about when you're buying the other Gillettes or whatever like that, like at the grocery store, you're paying like $40 to $50 for like a 10-pack or a 15-pack, and you get 100 of these. And not only do you get 100, but you get basically 200 because there's a blade here and there's a blade here. So there's 2 blades. So really it's 200 blades for the same price as 100 blades. So if you do the math, that's not too bad. So it's up to you. If you want to try this, definitely give it a shot, and maybe it's not for you. Maybe you like the other ones better and you're fine paying the extra money constantly for that. I'll go a little bit into the double-sided razor blades. One thing about these, this is again, I was using feather just because I researched it and it seemed like a really good blade. There's also blades made in England, in Germany, but there's also blades made in Russia, which I believe Gillette today, their blades are made in Russia. And they don't have the best reviews. They also made in Turkey. They're made many countries. But the really good ones, if you think about it, you know, it's just any blade, any sort of metal. The best metals are made, you know, either Sweden, obviously the US, the German area of Austria and Germany and Japan. They just take care of this. They just make the steel more precise than maybe some other countries that just kind of make steel. But again, it's just a razor blade, so does it make a huge difference? I don't know. I've never bought one of the super cheap ones. Another thing you can do too is on eBay, sometimes some guy will, and I've done this too, I've gone through a whole box. A guy has a box of 100 of these vintage blades from the 50s or 40s or even 60s. Those are probably fantastic blades because they were made back when, you know, they still made stuff to last forever, as opposed to today where they're just kind of cranking stuff out. But you want to get the best blades you can. So I like these. I'm going to look into them. I may spend the money for it. Again, it makes sense. It's 100 blades. I bought these blades probably 4 years ago, and I'm finally down to my last 5-pack. So kind of gives you an idea how long these things last. So that's only $10 a year, really, which is kind of unheard of for razor blades. But anyway, this is the Gillette Fat Boy. I'd highly recommend this one. There's others. There's some that don't adjust. Maybe you don't need one that adjusts. They have fancy ones. You can get gold-plated ones and ones with fancy names, you know, from designers and everything. Gillette's great. They've been making razors forever. You can't go wrong with the Gillette. But there's others. There's Schick. There's, what was the other one? There's another one too of American brands, but there's also all the British brands, and then there's the German brands, which are, I'm sure, fantastic, but they're probably very expensive too. You kind of get what you pay for, but you actually get way more than you pay for when you get one of these, because this was just made, I mean, obviously this is, what, from the late 50s, so we're talking 60 years, and I'm still using it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Do that with a Gillette sensor from 60 years old. It's not gonna be working. Anyway, so if you like this sort of content, please subscribe, like, comment. If you have one, let me know. If there's a brand that you like better or a brand of blades you like better, put it in the comments below, and so others can see it and maybe get an idea. I'm gonna put some links to blades and other just shaving essentials, particularly maybe the Mitchell soap and some other stuff, so you can pick it up, because most of the stuff I get is on Amazon, and I'll put those links down there for you. So I will see you on the next Derek Does.